All right, we're digging into the thing that makes music great, in my opinion. The whole reason that I have dedicated 18 years of my life to studying this thing that we call music. And that's because of the potential that music has to both express and evoke really, really strong emotions in a complex and intricate way that you really can't do with language or any other medium. Music kind of does it in its own way. And it's so cool. We're going to talk about two ways that music and emotion kind of interact with each other. The first one is going to be music that is specifically designed to express an emotion. And then the other kind of music is a kind of music that is written to evoke an emotion. So when we talk about music expressing an emotion, we're talking about music that is written about an emotion. Music that is specifically like, okay, this song is about anger, or this song is about sadness. And it uses very specific methods and musical concepts to convey this is what anger feels like, this is what sadness feels like, this is what confusion feels like. So let's take a look at a piece of music and dissect it a little bit. Doesn't that just like sound furious? And what's so crazy is that there's so many things going on in there, all to give us that same feeling of outrage, just like absolute outrage. Thinking about just the instrumentation alone, we hear brass, we hear tons of percussion, and we don't hear a lot of woodwinds. And woodwinds are typically associated with like softer feelings, softer emotions. So we're not hearing a lot of woodwinds, but when we do, it is frantic. So we have this constant back and forth between high brass and low brass over and over. You're hearing them both playing this melody that almost seems opposite of each other. Like they're like, you never hear them playing at the same time as if they're playing the same thing. It's constantly just like, ah, God, I'm talking, no, you're talking. It's like an argument. It sounds like an argument. But then it comes together really to just create this panic, I think. And then the percussion is just going wild back there. So much sound. You think about the instruments that they chose to use, they're not really using like marimba or vibraphone, something melodic. They're using drums. They're using cymbals, tons of cymbals. Really bright and harsh sounds that are just so aggressive. And then later on, we hear him playing with time, making us think, here's the beat. And then he emphasizes the offbeat, so it kind of feels like we lose our step a little bit, maybe trip over ourselves, and then kind of get back into a groove, only for him to displace it and have it happen again. And all of this just kind of adds to this picture of outrage is this completely out of control, aggressive, argumentative, combative feeling that he captures really, really well. Now, what about music that wasn't necessarily designed to portray or describe an emotion, but music that was intended to get a reaction? Well, there's one piece of music in particular that is a masterclass in this effect. It very clearly and very vividly and very violently forces you to react a certain way from the very beginning of the piece. The moment the piece starts, you like take a listen. I will always very, very vividly remember the day that I heard this piece for the first time. Up until that point, I thought music was only pleasant to listen to. And this was the first piece of music that I very negatively reacted to. It struck me as disgusting. And other people I talk to, it strikes with horror or fear. And it so powerfully, like that first moment, you're already just gripped with this heaviness and this despair. Music is pretty powerful stuff. This piece is Threnody for the Victims of Hiroshima. It's kind of a song of mourning for the people who were victims of the atomic bomb that got dropped in Hiroshima in World War II. And I think that disgust that we feel is exactly what Penderecki was going for, is this realization of, what have we done? And that should sit so heavy with us. I don't know why I'm tearing up. What the heck? It's emotional. So there's no words, and it's so powerful that a piece of music can do that. I of course have listened to the whole piece many, many times, but just the idea that I can gain this whole new perspective on how I should feel about something just from listening to a bunch of sound waves hit my eardrums is remarkable to me. Such dissonant harmonies, such shrill sounds that really shake your heart and cause you to take a step back and think, I hate this. like I hate this piece of music. And that hatred of this music, the hatred of the way it sounds, is exactly why I love this music so much. Is because it makes me so strongly feel, and I can almost imagine partially how heartbroken, how absolutely torn Penderecki must have been when he was wrestling with this. So music has the capability of not only describing emotion, but also making us feel certain emotions. We can write music in such a way that we are inviting our listeners, sometimes grabbing our listeners and pulling them into this emotion. And so we can connect with people we've never met before. When we listen to the music of Bach and Beethoven and other composers who are long gone, we can still feel what they felt. And that is what makes music so powerful and so compelling, is that timeless connection that we have to the composer. So as you're composing, as you're writing stuff, think about how do I want to connect? I know it's just an assignment, but how can you force me to connect with you without using words on a really deep and meaningful level, using just the notes on the page? Maybe a topic that you feel like you can express vividly and meaningfully, and see if you can get us to connect on that topic through your music. Good luck. I know this is kind of a long one. Sorry, but it's an important one. It's worth it. Talk to you guys later.